Listen up. You can't lead effectively in 2025 using yesterday's playbook. In this video, we're breaking down 3 things every leader should leave behind in 2024 and 3 things you absolutely need to focus in on in 2025 if you want to stay ahead of the game. Whether you're leading a team, a project, or just yourself, this isn't advice you can afford to skip. So grab a notebook, stay locked in, and let's get into it. Hey family, this is Mike Sarge, Creative Director at Create Force, where we create opportunities to have genuine conversations as leaders and dominate by being a force in whatever room that we walk into. So let's start with the things that we need to leave behind in 2024. The first thing is performative leadership. Right now, there are too many leaders that are checking boxes and not making real change. And guess what? If you're one of these leaders, one of these individuals, you're not fooling anyone. People see through performative actions, and those actions kill trust quickly. Yes, those you lead or those that are your peers may be smiling in your face, coming in on time and getting the job done, but in reality, they don't believe you're being genuine and that you actually care about them. If you're going to do something, or you say that you're going to do something, then commit fully, even if it gets a little uncomfortable. The second thing leaders need to leave behind are unrealistic expectations. Now, when I talk about unrealistic expectations, I'm really talking about the taskers and the deadlines that we give to our teams without any consideration of their skill sets, lack of training that they may have had, or, available time to them. But also, I'm referring to the unrealistic expectations that we place on ourselves as leaders. Yes, we should aim and do things in excellence. But when expectations get out of hand, your teams are the ones who pay the price, with burnout, frustration, and probably a little bit of disengagement. So the key word here is balance. Be sure to set expectations that challenge your team, but ones that also don't crush your team. And remember, extend that same level of grace to yourself. And the last thing that we need to leave behind in 2024 is the fear of the unknown. Sometimes leaders, we get into the bad habit of avoiding things that we don't understand, whether it's social media, AI tools, or even having those hard, uncomfortable conversations. Avoidance doesn't make these challenges disappear. It just makes you less equipped to deal with them when they inevitably show up. What I'd encourage you to do is to start leaning more into that curiosity and lean less into fear. Ask questions, experiment, and don't shy away from growth because things seem a little unfamiliar to you. All right, now that we've cleaned out and cleared out the baggage of 2024, let's talk about the things that we should focus on in 2025. The first thing, intentional communication. I'm talking about speaking in purpose, in clarity, and consistency across your team. To me personally, miscommunication or a lack of just communication in general is one of the biggest disruptors of an organization, regardless of industry, if not the biggest disruptor. When communication doesn't flow well as it should, then you leave room for things like rumors and assumptions that end up becoming a virus that spreads throughout the culture of your organizations. As a recommendation, don't just talk at your team. Create space for dialogue, ask follow-up questions, ensure they understand the why behind decisions, and be intentional with every interaction. Number 2 is to remember your roots. We believe that self-reflection and remembering who you were before the title, that promotion, or that pay raise is important. Sometimes we get so bogged down by the weight of responsibility that we ultimately forget where we came from, and we forget our journey that got us to this point. So be sure to revisit your rookie mindset. Reflect on the lessons you learned early on, the people who supported you, and the moments that shaped you. That perspective will keep you grounded and relatable. And our last one, prioritize developing future leaders. As leaders, we have to stop hoarding information. We have to stop gatekeeping opportunities, and we have to start empowering others to lead. Because truth be told, you may not always be at that position. You may end up getting, moved somewhere else, another location, another office, another team, or maybe the people under you, they may end up getting moved to a different office, another organization, another team, and they need opportunities to grow. There's a saying that the mark of a great leader isn't what they achieve, but who they lift up along the way. So regardless of whether those people appreciate it or they completely squander it, there is still a lesson in that, and it is still on you as a leader to develop them. So basically, invest in mentorship, in training, opportunities. Set up the people beside you and under you up for success, just as you wish someone had done the same for you. For anyone serious about leadership and growth, we believe these tips are non-negotiables. So here's your challenge. Drop one thing that you're leaving behind in 2024 and one thing that you want to focus on in 2025 in the comments below. We want to see them. We want to check them out. And hey, if this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. 2025 isn't going to wait for you to get ready. So let's create and dominate.